So we go from that to really dressing up the studio to make it a little bit smarter, and gosh knows we need all the help we can get. Our friends from Hobson and Hobson are here. Chris Hobson, Sarah Hobson. Are you braveenough.com? That's where you want to go.
Yes, I am.
Thank you, Chuck. To take that first step. And guys, it's good to see both of you. Thanks
Once was enough.
Good to see you too.
We got a lot of ground to cover, so the pleasantries out of the way. And I talked about this during the break because it's a very serious issue. Britney Spears is getting married again. Yeah, I would think after it didn't work the first or second time, she would think, let's maybe put the brakes on. But no, she's engaged. So here's what I want to know. She's been around this block now a couple of times. I'm assuming her people, whoever that is now, conservatorship or whatever, are going to talk to her about a prenup. So tell me, how does that work? Is there a financial settlement on the front side for in this case, the guy, if it doesn't work out? Like, what does that look like?
Sure. So, putting the conservatorship aside, because I don't really know the details of that and what she gets from that. But either way, the smart thing would be to do for her would be to protect her assets by predetermining what's going to happen in the event of a divorce. So a number of factors would determine how long they were married, what assets they accumulate during the marriage. But the main thing is what do you have right now? What are you taking into the marriage? Ensuring that there are parameters in place to make sure if a divorce happens, that those remain your separate assets so it never gets put in the marital bucket. That's really what you're controlling with a prenuptial agreement, is what goes into that marital bucket that then would be divided. So you can predefine that. You can determine what would go into that marital bucket for division, and you can determine what financial payout she would have at the conclusion of it based on maybe how long they've been together.
Is this a dumb question, Sarah? Do they do a joint bank account? Do they have something separate where her money's here and we meet in the middle and here's the mortgage check at the end of the month? Or how does that look?
They could certainly do that, have separate bank accounts, but also, decide what is going to be jointly marital. I would definitely recommend that she keep her house as premarital. It's gorgeous. It's like an English fairy garden. It has Britney written all over it.
I haven't seen that.
She's very passionate about
Britney, if you're listening, we'd love to do your prenup.
What about the finances on the other end of this arrangement? When it is going to be a divorce, I will say that maybe upon occasion you have someone who's not being forthcoming with all the assets, hiding assets in various ways. When you're representing someone, how do you make sure that all of the soon-to-be ex, all of those financial assets are on the table?
Well, certainly. So there's an easy way and there's a hard way. The easy way is, honestly, a lot of people aren't that smart. So they're trying to hide assets. They don't disclose assets. But if you look in bank records, credit card charges, Venmo, all these different accounts, you can see where everything goes. And if you ask enough questions, you can connect the dots. If they're really good, there are services out there where you can hire experts to do a forensic accounting, and they have the software that can search a name and a social security number for a bank account or possibly an offshore account. Here's the thing is you got to put your money where your mouth is, because every single account that those companies hit, that's where they charge you. They'll charge you, let's say, $2,000 per account that they find. So if you give them information, they found 20 accounts and you already knew about them, then you could spend a whole lot of money and not get anything. So there's certainly different ways to get it.
Okay, what about if there is someone, again, not that you're representing, but on the other side, and you suspect that, wait a minute, we decided in March we were going to get divorced, but in January or February just started either transferring assets or got a safety deposit box somewhere. How do you go like retroactive to we're getting divorced? Is that possible as well?
It can be, yes. I mean, it may involve finding
There's scoundrels
someone.
out there.
There are, and especially once it is important to file for divorce, because once you file for divorce, there'll be an automatic standing order that prohibits any party from moving any assets, taking on any debt. A lot of people, we advise them, don't let your spouse know that you're going to file until we give you the phone call and say, hey, we're filing it right now, so that they can't do that. You don't want to tip them off, because a lot of
Where's
people...
that tennis bracelet? Where's that
Oh, yeah.
those stocks? Where's the negotiable bonds?
Why is there a new boat in my front yard?
Yeah.
And what you're describing is depletion of the marital estate. So there's a lot of times where you can prove that maybe, let's just say, for instance, $100,000 that someone took out of the marital estate and then filed for divorce. Well, the judge can see that and they can say, okay, well, now we're going to add that back in. That was already yours. You already spent it. So you're only getting $50,000 where the other side's going to get $150,000.
So let me follow up on that. And Chris and Sarah Hobson are with us, Hobson and Hobson, and you can go to areyoubravenough.com to schedule a consultation. Do you see that, I don't want to use routinely, but like the fight to be the first to file? Like, how important is it to file first, if at all? when it comes to money and it comes to assets and things like that.
Well, statistics show that 9 times out of 10 the woman files for divorce. But
Because we're dumb.
Right. Well, I think
Wake up, men.
yes.
Yeah,
and-
we were going to get around to it. We
There
were.
was a game on Sunday. I was going to do it Monday.
Well, I used to say it doesn't matter, but the longer I'm doing it, the more and more I'm seeing that it's very important. And the reason why is that 85% of divorces settle out of court, which means you're never going to go to court. You're never going to present your case. So in that instance, it doesn't matter. But if you're the 15% where it's a high stakes game, you want to be the person that starts. You want to be the plaintiff because you control the narrative in court. It's very important. Going to court is like putting on a play, and you want to control that narrative. You don't want to sit down, let the other side say all these negative things against you, and then you come up and defend yourself as the defendant. You want to be the prosecutor, the plaintiff, the one that presents the case and then tells the other side, okay, tell me where I'm wrong.
You're on the offensive.
Right,
So let
exactly.
me ask you one more about this, because Chuck and I, in the Confidential a couple of weeks ago, had the Del Curry story. Steph's dad, who claims his wife, Sonia, they've been married a very long time, that she stepped out and she's been she in with some former football player for the Patriots. When there's not a private investigator, or there's not, I caught you with my phone, or I've got texts and emails. He said, she said, when it comes to infidelity, how somebody just presents the case better? How does that work in court?
It comes down to circumstantial. I mean, you can prove it through circumstantial evidence. A lot of divorces, they will just constantly talk about an affair, and they really don't have any evidence to back it up. So it's important that, if you're being falsely accused of it, that your attorney is taking it very seriously and not negating the fact that it's not true. When they say it over and over again, it can sometimes convince the judge that it actually happened.
But is that one of those where, like, we're looking at phone records, obviously, is the place to go first?
Yeah, phone records, 45-minute phone calls with this one number. What are they talking about? Oh, I got a picture of my husband's car outside of a hotel room, and there's her car too.
And you guys had told us infidelity. I mean, there's a price tag on that when it
big
comes
one.
to divorce.
Especially for the non-breadwinner. If you're the non-breadwinner looking for alimony and you are the one that had the affair that led to the divorce, you could be cut out of alimony, which is a significant impact to a lot of people.
Has that always been the case, or is that a newer kind of...
It's always been there.
Yeah. Man, it's heavy stuff, but enjoyable. All right, guys, it's a pleasure to see you guys. AreYouBraveEnough.com is where you want to go.
Hell yes, I am.
Chuck, I'm proud of you. Taking
Chuck's
that first
very
step
brave.
he is. Taking that first step is always the toughest. Hobson and Hobson, easy to find. You guys are doing a little vacation, so maybe next week's not the time.
Hey, our whole team's there. Just because
Love
we're
it.
going out of town doesn't mean we're still operating.
Very happy for you guys. Good to see you both.
Good to
Absolutely.
see you.
Good
Thanks
seeing
for
you.
having
Chris and
us.
Sarah Hobson again. AreYouBraveEnough.com is where you want to go to take that first step. But they always give great information. You guys can take advantage of getting in touch with them.